So the Lunar New Year is currently going on. It's the year of the boar. Last year, I barely touched this for achievements. I'm in a very different place this year in that I really care about AP. So I took some time today to actually decidedly go for these. Usually I just play Dragon Ball, which has very little achievement incentive, I'm afraid. But yeah, so plenty to talk about, and I thought I'd do an AP of the day, kind of a special here. Here you'll see, as a cheeky bonus at the start, here's getting the Lunar Shepherd, which I got, I think, just from opening fireworks. And frankly, most of the achievements on this release, while there's a good amount of content here, is just go to the trading post, buy stuff. Like buy consumables and feed them to the pigs, or buy fireworks and pop them, or buy luck or and, you know, hand it into Drubert. You get a lot of AP each time. I've maybe come out over the past 24 hours with easily over 100 AP higher than I was before, which is a lot these days, and something I really like and appreciate. Most people sneer at the fact that it takes a long time to get AP now, but I really like it, you know. You get like that big lump sum of 50 per block, like that's cool. So yeah, but that's most of what AP is for this festival, which doesn't mean good AP of the day videos. However, there are the adventures. And I do say that plural. So last year, like I said, I didn't really touch much, but they added an adventure, which is what we're playing right now. You can see in the background. It's essentially a supply run where our job is to travel around Divinity's Reach, grabbing firecrackers and launching them. You guys may well know from, you know, the earlier iterations of the Lunar New Year, as it now stands in Divinity's Reach, that there is another achievement to light firecrackers, but that's really only in the Crown Pavilion. This is an adventure to find some new special ones the devs have added all over the city. And like I said, this was added last year, and I never did it last year. This year as well, they've added another one. There's Firecracker Lightning, which is what we're doing right now, and then there's Firecracker Lightning 2. Now, as far as achievements are concerned, you only have to do one of them, Firecracker Lightning, I think, which is what we're doing right now. The second has 0 achievement incentive whatsoever, which I think is a goddamn shame. Nonetheless, I'm going to do both on the video here for you all. I might even double up this as footage for some kind of Lunar New Year main video on the main channel, which I had been planning to do, but I've been spending so long making the Let's Play the past couple of weeks that I haven't got round to that. But yeah, so I thought I'd talk about these adventures. Essentially, what I'm telling you is you've seen a bonus achievement at the start here today, and now you're watching me get another one. The adventure itself, as a supply run, has all the pros and cons I discussed last time we were doing a supply run. I believe that was... Christ, when was that? Was that a Winter's Day thing? It was quite recent I did a supply run video with you all. On here, on AP of the day. Well, but essentially the points I illuminated were that they stressed me out a lot because there's just so much potential. You know, in terms of what flags you go for, in what order. Oh, I recall now, it was the most recent release, the Adventure in Thunderhead Peaks. But also, one thing I never touched on enough on that previous AP of the day is the whole mount prospect as well. There's lots of different routes in terms of what mounts you pick and where. You know, one glaring idea is to identify what the highest up firecracker is, here, say, and get that one first, then griffin around trying to collect the rest. It's a cool thought to me, and maybe the hitboxes on the firecrackers could be a little bit better. I'll talk about that again in a second. Yeah, you know, just what mounts you use in what order massively complicates it, adds to my stress. But the devs do tend to tune these being quite easy. And you'll see right now I'm flying to my last. I did this in no particular order. This is a blind playthrough. This is my first time ever doing Firecracker Lightning. I think it was kind of cool that I ended where I started. I think I just went kind of clockwise around the entire map. And there you have it. We get Golden Fire start of the achievement, 5 AP. I'm the only person I can see on the daily leaderboard for that entire adventure. So I don't know how popular they are. There's definitely no daily incentive to go for them. But there you go. That's gold, and it wasn't too bad. That's the achievement done, and in theory, at this point, you could just leave. But there's Firecracker Lightning 2, which I want to show you. It's actually much harder. And I have 2 separate attempts at. So, what we'll do is I'll show you the start of my first attempt here as I just trigger it. Actually, let's say, I guess we'll edit it a little bit earlier here. So, this is the end of my first attempt at Firecracker Lightning 2. You'll see I'm on the Beetle. But this one's really difficult because the other one kind of has you low down in the districts around the towns and the houses, right? And you can kind of just do that big clockwise thing, making sure to be completionist. This one is much more deviously created in that it's around the high gardens and the high bridges. So you kind of have to keep spiraling out of the center of the wheel to go to the end of the bridges and then come back into the middle. And it's very cool. So as you can see, that's my first attempt here, and I missed gold by 55 seconds. So I was almost a full minute out of gold on my first attempt, and instead of showing you the entire dud, I figured I'd just, you know, skip us through that, and we'll give another shot. So this is my second ever attempt at Firecracker Lightning, and this time, instead of trying to go in a ring, I try to operate from the philosophy of be in the middle, go down a bridge, then climb back up the bridge to the middle. Obviously, you can't waypoint at any point. And it really adds a lot of interesting stuff to the adventure, really. In that I try and, like, beetle down hills. You'll see I'll try and beetle here. And we use the momentum as we're going down the slope, plus a boost as it happens, to get up the other side. And then try and keep that momentum and keep going. But it's tough, man. It is tough. So we grab this, and there you'll notice that I was in range of the hitbox. Some of these are so high up that you kind of need to spring it, and there's a lot of swapping around. I have to assume that this is designed such that it can be done with what? Just the Raptor? I mean, even the I doubt that they're requiring Griffin to complete this, obviously. And I also doubt that they're requiring Beetle to complete this because it's its own living world release. But even the Jackal's kind of a funny one. Maybe they designed without even the Jackal in mind, because that is essentially an optional mount. The main story never requires you to get the Jackal, never takes you through any Jackal Sand portals as far as I remember, and it has a pretty high, you know, monetary cost on it. Veterans of the game probably aren't thinking about that right now, but I try and keep myself in tune with new players all the time, as you guys know, and it's something you gotta consider. So maybe it is just Raptor and Bunny possible. I'd love to see someone going through and demonstrating all of these done with very minimalistic you know, mount selections available. As to the Beetle as well, by the way, I was playing on my second account quite recently that I haven't logged in for a long. I've actually got maybe 4 accounts, which sounds amazing, but you know, 7 years of playing the game, these things somehow build up. One of them's free to play as well, I'll note. Actually, I think 2 of them are free to play. Anyway, I was on one that I hadn't been on for years and years and years and years, okay? And I noticed that even though the first time I'd logged in was now here in January, I'm still being given the Roller Beetle for free. I don't know, is that just because the deadline for the Volkswagen Beetle thing came all the way right up through January? I would have thought it's over by now, but I guess whatever flag the devs turned on for that, they've forgotten to turn back off. So it's kind of funny. For the price of 200 gems, you can always just get that Beetle straight away, I guess, even on accounts that you sort of shouldn't be getting them. Anywho, I do want to point out with this one Firecracker here, that I love the devs included these areas of Divinity's Reach. These are a perfect example of what I was talking about very recently, in that there's so many awesome hidden fringe areas of Corteria that contemporary content should be throwing players towards. I love those little, like, grassy ledges. I've always giddily imagined the idea of, like, a skill vendor or something in a location like that, that, you know, offers you to buy another tier of Meteor Shower or something that you wouldn't necessarily get elsewhere, or until later in the game, but you found them there in that hidden area. You know, giving here hidden areas like that meaning, real meaning. And quite often, in my imagination, I think of giving them meaning as a facet of proper leveling RPG mechanics. But ArenaNet are doing okay, I suppose, by doing it as a part of achievements and whatnot as well. Hopefully my articulation here isn't too waffly. Back to my attempt here. I'm actually not confident at all as I'm going for this that I'm doing any better. Certainly not to the tune of 55 seconds better than my last time. There you'll see I was going downhill on a Jackal. And that's not very good, right? Really, you want to be on the Beetle as you go downhill. I have found, and if you rewatch this video and pay complete ignorance to what I'm saying, but only attention to the mount swapping, I have to say I am losing a little bit of love for the mount wheel add-on. I still think it's amazing, and it's an incredible development add-on and stuff. And for the novelties, it's brilliant, and I love the developer, and I can't wait to do a video on the main channel about it. But in terms of mount swapping, I really feel like there's a huge delay at the moment between getting off of one mount on the other. I'm not sure whether the mount wheel can change that in any way, because it can't simulate multiple key presses for a single action on our end. So it's not like you can ask the tool to spam the hotkey mount button, you know, in lieu, you know, for the next 2 or 3 seconds after I've made my choice, just so that we hit it in the earliest point in the window. But there you go. This is the last one. We're gliding over, and That's how I got gold. You'll notice I've been quite evasive on my commentary here as to what exactly I did. It's because, to be honest, I don't know what I did that was so smart there. But we beat our previous time by about 1.5 minutes, which is pretty incredible. So there you have it. Firecracker lightning and a part of the festival. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you tomorrow for another achievement here in Lunar New Year, and then we'll move on.